Self-awareness is today's superpower. It is the number one most common thing that pretty much all successful people have. If you look at people like Gary Vee, Seth Godin, Tom Bailey, Tony Robbins, all of them have this one very important but often overlooked trait. This is because people that build something from nothing do things differently from the rest of the world. Because if you do things like other people, you will become other people. So if you do what the majority does, you will become one of the majority. And the easiest way to set yourself apart, at least for now, is to become self-aware and to really know the reasons behind why you do things. Because that's ultimately what self-awareness is. It is knowing who you are and knowing the reasons for your actions in a very concrete way. Like, you know why you do this action precisely, and because you know why you do that, you can then extrapolate that to other people, because ultimately, honestly, people aren't all that complicated. Our driving factors are more or less the same. Like, if you dig down to the motives of individuals, there's only a small handful of them. So how do you actually become self-aware? Self-awareness is a habit. It is not something that someone gains overnight. It is something that you have to work on every single day until you basically master this sort of mindset that allows you to be self-aware. And the mindset has a few components. So the first and probably the easiest step is asking why. Why? Asking yourself why over and over and over again to the exact same question. Some people say you have to ask why 7 times and you have to get an answer 7 times before you can really dig down to the bedrock of your problem, to what I like to call a first principle, a fundamental reason as to why you do something. And even then, sometimes there are more whys and sometimes there are more layers to dig down on. And what a lot of people do is they ask themselves why once, and then they get to a problem, and then they try to solve that problem. They don't actually ask themselves why again and again and again. And I actually think that's one of the biggest problems in society today. We take surface level problems and then we try and solve them, but we don't actually solve the underlying issue. That's almost like, putting a band-aid on a gun wound. I mean, in the beginning, it's fine, but there's still a bullet in you. So you still actually have to solve the actual underlying problem. You can't just keep bandaging it up, because eventually you'll die. Now, let me quickly give you guys an example from my own personal life. So, I was sad. I asked myself why, and it turns out I was depressed. Now, this is where most people would stop. Most people would say, I am depressed, let's solve depression, and then have some medication prescribed, and you're all better. But when you're off the medication, well, suddenly you're depressed again. Now, I'm not saying don't go get medication prescribed. Yes, some people do need SSRIs or other antidepressants. However, maybe while you're on those, ask yourself more whys. Because I asked myself more whys, and not that I'm cured, but I am significantly better now because I am solving the underlying issues and not depression. So I asked myself why a few more times, and it ultimately came down to I didn't like myself a whole lot. And I didn't like myself a whole lot because I didn't have any sort of success. I had all this baggage in me. So now I've been trying to solve that problem. And since I've been trying to solve that problem through a lot of release work and a lot of meditation, and frankly, this, along with other projects that I have going on in my life that I'm actually excited about, I'm able to solve my problems a lot better than had I just went about my life the exact same way that I've had and not change. Which brings me to my next point, step number 2, which is be willing to change. And not only be willing to change, but be humble. Now, humbleness usually comes with a lot of self-awareness, so it's kind of a catch-22. But there is a very good mechanical way of becoming more humble, which is to ask yourself, am I wrong? Which is a very negative question, and I hate asking myself this, but it is one of the keys to me being a lot more self-aware and honestly a lot more right. Because I have had some terrible ideas in the past that I thought were brilliant and great and completely correct. And when someone said, oh no, you're wrong because of like this and this and this and this and this, I would just reject that out of hand because I'm right. I can't possibly be wrong. But as soon as I started asking myself, could I potentially be wrong? And honestly, now I ask myself the question, how am I right? I started to shed a lot of very bad habits and a lot of just very bad mindsets that I've had, that I've accumulated. Now, before I continue, let me know, are you self-aware? Are you doing the things that I've been talking about? Have they been working? Have they not? Do you have some other method that you'd like to share with all of us? Please comment down below on anything that is on your mind. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more good content like this one. So the next point is know your brain. Watch yourself and watch what you actually do and how you respond to things. A lot of the times, I'm able to be aware of the things I'm doing because I know how my brain will react to things. I know, for example, if someone shoves me very hard, I will automatically get angry. Now, that's a very obvious example because, honestly, most people get pretty angry, but that is a very prudent one because ultimately, if you know you're going to be angry when someone shoves you, and you know you're going to get angry, you can stop yourself from getting angry. And there's a whole bunch of things. I know exactly what makes me sad. I know what makes me happy. I know myself pretty well because I watch myself and I watch my reactions in a very non-judgmental way. When you look at an action, don't look at it as this action was good and this action was bad. Look at it as this action happened. Why did it happen? Ask yourself all of those whys, and then afterwards you can know exactly how your brain responds to things so that you're able to react in an appropriate manner. The other key point in this particular step is to know all of your biases. There are so many human biases out there, and I definitely want to make a couple of videos on those. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to know more about biases, because biases are really fascinating and they're really powerful if you know them. So with that, we've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this far, and let me know what you think, and let me know how you're doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.